Hello again, everybody, and welcome into Gamecock Central Radio. It's GamecockCentral.com with Gamecock Baseball Report with Kip Bouknight. We do it twice a week here on Gamecock Central Radio. Kip, great to have you this morning. How you doing?
Doing great, Emerson. Thanks for having me.
All right, we got a Gamecock win last night, 14-4 over Furman, and South Carolina is now 30-8 on the year. And Kip, the Gamecocks broke out the bats last night. 18 hits in this ball game. That was one hit short of their season high, and it was a lot of different players contributing. T.J. Hopkins was 4 of 5. Dom Thompson-Williams 4 for 4. Marcus Mooney 3 for 3. John Jones had a couple of hits. So it was good to see the offense generate a lot of runs last night and take some pressure off the pitching staff.
Yeah, it was a great opportunity for the total team last night to be able to get back on the right side of the swinging the bats a little bit, and the direct result of that too is being able to get a couple pitchers in that needed some work, and I think that we'll hopefully be able to use down the road and in the SEC play, because like I said many times, I think that's going to be the key to their success, is getting some other guys in there, and we're going to have more than 4 or 5 guys down the stretch run. So good to get a lead like that, to be able to get. I think we got four bullpen guys, 5 guys pitched last night, counting Taylor Widener.
Yeah, Widener pitched 4 2/3 and struck out a career-high 7 batters, gave up 3 runs, 2 of them earned, and 6 hits. But it was Reed Scott that got the win. He pitched 2 1/3 innings of scoreless relief to pick up the win. He's 2-1 on the year. Kip, Furman actually scored first in this ball game. They led 1-0 at the end of 1, but the Gamecocks took the lead from there. And Coach Holbrook said after the game that the 5th inning was the key. Furman had a runner at second. It was a 5-3 ball game with tying run on second, and Reed made a big pitch to get a strikeout, and that sent the Gamecocks on their way. 18 hits on the night, a 14-4 win. Hopkins had 2 stolen bases, 2 RBIs, and 3 runs scored. And Marcus Mooney had 3 ribs and 3 runs as well. The Gamecocks hit 6 doubles and 2 triples in this game, and Dom Thompson-Williams leads South Carolina with 11 doubles on the season. Gene Cone extended his 24-game hitting streak with a triple in the 4th inning. So all-around solid victory for South Carolina last night, Kip. And I think it's important to get this win, a confidence-building win, a win with some cushion coming off of last week where, frankly, the Gamecocks got blown out twice.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's definitely a perfect opportunity when you're playing a midweek game against a team that South Carolina should handle pretty easily, and they did that. Furman was banged up, had some injuries, had, I think, a couple suspensions as well, and it was really an all-around good victory for the Gamecocks. They played pretty crisply, and like I said, got some additional pitchers in there to get some work in, and the 5th inning definitely was a crucial moment, and Reed Scott did a great job of coming in out of the pen and limiting the damage and closing the door with, runners on base. And, Gamecocks pounded out 18 hits last night. It was a great team victory for them.
Gamecock Central Radio here with Kip Bouknight, our weekly baseball report. South Carolina 30-8 and 11-4 in the league. And Kip, we're back into SEC play. We talked earlier in the week about 5 series remaining, and the Gamecocks have got an extremely difficult schedule left to play. Florida will come to town next weekend after the Missouri series. Then the Gamecocks will travel to Kentucky. And they've got Texas A&M at home. All 3 of these teams ranked very highly in the country. And then they close it out with Alabama, which is currently 8-7 in the SEC. So this is the last SEC opponent on the Gamecocks schedule that's under 500. Missouri's 4-11 in the league. So if ever there were a time to sweep, this has got to be the weekend, right?
Yeah, absolutely. With what they know they got coming ahead, it's definitely time for a great opportunity for South Carolina to get a sweep. And it's hard to look forward to that. It's hard to look ahead of what you got. You got to play one game at a time, and South Carolina has to play well. They're not, even the national championship teams when South Carolina won in 2010, 2011, they couldn't just show up and play. And I think that, I certainly don't think this team's going to look to do that. They have seemed to have that heightened awareness and energy about them, and they certainly are going to come prepared to play, but they know they're going to have to absolutely come ready to play to be able to beat a Missouri team that, yes, they are below 500, but it's in the SEC, as you said, that this is the last team that has a below 500 record in the conference, and that's just a sign of a great conference, and these teams just keep beating each other up, and it's a marathon, not a sprint. They obviously got off to a great start, and this middle part of the year, halfway through the SEC season, they're definitely going to have to do a great job of maintaining. And it's not a necessary sweep, but it sure would be nice. But I do think they definitely need to get 2 out of 3 this weekend for sure.
Right. You certainly don't take Missouri for granted. You know, Georgia was under 500 in league play, and they took 2 out of 3 from South Carolina last weekend. But the Gamecocks are at home, where they've only lost 1 game all year. It'll be Clark Schmidt, 7 o'clock first pitch Friday. Braden Webb, 4 o'clock first pitch Saturday. And then Adam Hill, 1:30 first pitch Sunday. Those are your starting pitchers again this weekend for the Gamecocks. All 3 games will be on SEC Network Plus and on the Gamecock IMG Radio Network. Kip, important for Braden Webb to bounce back from that rough start he had last week, and an opportunity for him to do it at home.
It's been a long 6-7 days for him. I know how that is. Anytime you have a bad start, especially one that's cut short, that you don't get many innings in, it's a long week. And he's certainly going to come prepared and be ready. I'm sure he's done the film deal. He's looked with Coach Myers, I'm sure, to see if there was anything that he can learn from, and hopefully he had a positive bullpen session and he's ready to go. I mean, that's the beauty of baseball, is you got to pick it back up and pick the pieces up and get rolling. And I just think South Carolina needs to do a better job of overall as a pitching staff of doing what they did last night and not walking guys, don't give them any free bases, and playing the solid defense that they played all year long, and just continuing to try to pound the zone. And sometimes when you get in a slump as a pitcher, you give the hitters too much credit, and even Hall of Famers in the big leagues, they get out 70% of the time. So you have to remind yourself of that. You just got to locate your pitches, make quality pitches, and be aggressive. And I'm sure, starting with Clark Schmidt and Webb on Saturday and Hill on Sunday, that'll certainly hopefully be their game plan, is to just trust their stuff and, pound the zone and try to, mix in the breaking balls when they need to. And I still think they need to really, really try to establish fastballs in. I really have not seen many hitters in the league this year against facing arms, that can throw at 90, 92 miles an hour. Not many guys at this level can really turn on the fastball in. So guys have got to try to be able to pitch in for effectiveness, in for strikes. So hopefully they can keep the hitters from just eliminating one side of the plate. Because if you're facing guys and a hitter can go up there knowing that all they've got to do is look on the outer half of the plate, whether it's fastball or breaking ball, that certainly gives the hitter the advantage. So they got to keep them honest.
All right, the Gamecocks are ranked as high as number 4 in the country this week, and they share the SEC East lead with the Florida Gators. Both those teams 11-4. Kentucky and Vanderbilt a couple of games back at 9-6. And again, Florida will come to Founders Park for a big 3-game series next weekend. Florida will host Georgia this weekend. A&M leads the West with a 10-5 record. LSU's 9-6 there, and it's Bama and Mississippi State at 8-7. So the Gamecocks have Florida, Kentucky, A&M, and Bama after the series this weekend with Missouri. So we talked about it early in the week. The schedule is going to be very difficult, and it's critical for the Gamecocks to take care of business at home this week against this Missouri team that's 19-18 overall and 4-11 in the league. Kip, looking forward to some good weather and some good baseball this weekend at Founders Park. Thanks for your time today.
Yeah, thank you, Emerson. Go Gamecocks.
All right, that's Kip Bouknight, Gamecock great. Joins us twice a week here on Gamecock Central Radio, and I'm Emerson Phillips. Thanks for joining us, and have a great weekend.